So one of the things that I recognized about e.l.f. really early on is this is a brand of the people, by the people, for the people. And if you are going to make this stake in the ground and say e.l.f. is for every eye, lip, and face, that's a big statement. And the thing that I told my team immediately was that means you're in bed with the consumer. Get in their room, get in their house, get in their medicine cabinet, understand what other brands they shop, understand everything about them. And the other key component, Gary, was not having a vision of who e.l.f. was that we created in a conference room.
Right.
Understanding who
e.l.f. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Corey. I apologize, but you just really got me going. Like, it's so e.l.f.ing frustrating for me that when people, like, I've watched everybody talk about being consumer centric, and literally I believe that 87% of the people I interact with, clients, non-clients, pitches, are the antithesis of that. It is complete PowerPoint reporting, ivory tower, complete lack of pulse, 6 years ago consumer shit. Like, do you agree?
100%. Everybody says it. It's like everything that I've realized at e.l.f. Like out there in the corporate world, they say it, they don't do it. And they say it 95% of the time. It's 95% talking, 5% acting. At e.l.f., we are 100% acting. And
Amazing.
We're just on this constant thread of start with a consumer insight. Our entire e.l.f.ing Amazing campaign, which we launched last June, we called it a brand recharge, was all built on the back of consumer insights. We found patterns, threads. What is it that they love about our brand? What is it that excites them about our brand? And created an entire campaign off of those threads and patterns.
What platforms are exciting you? Where do you see some arbitrage? Where do you see the consumer at the center being interesting?
I mean, you know what's going to come out of my mouth. TikTok is by far the most exciting platform that there is. It has been for over a year and will continue to be on the road ahead. The work that we've done together with them, the way in which we've been able to propel our brand forward and into an entire new sphere is just truly exceptional.
Influencer marketing is just a wildly big and important conversation. I think it's an early one. So I'm fascinated to get your perspective on how you're thinking about that genre in general.
Yeah, influencer marketing, I think, continues to evolve. And what you've heard a lot, and I know you also know, is authenticity is so important. So there was once influencer marketing, which was pay to play. And as consumers and people, were smart. We want people that are generally connected and committed. And when we find generally committed fans who speak on behalf of a brand, it matters. So it continues to be an important part, but it's not a pay for play. So you see micro influencers, nano influencers that are really credible. And then when you have macro influencers, they're ones that have some legitimacy in the space, in the product, in the category, and not just I have a big name, let's use that to drive influence.
One of the best product innovations that we've ever launched at PepsiCo, and it's such a simple idea, which is called Tostitos Scoops. So it's such a simple idea, which is we knew that people were dipping Tostitos, right? But what would happen is sometimes the chip would break, or sometimes it wouldn't fit into the jar, and you wouldn't get the right amount of salsa on it. So you get salsa over one piece, but then you'd eat the rest. And so what a simple, beautiful idea to create a little scoop out of the tortilla chips. So you get just the right amount of salsa. And then you can also use it for appetizers and stuff like that. And so, when we came up with the idea, it was so obvious and so big that, but it got rejected at first. It was like, oh, we've tried that before and, it doesn't really work. And so then, it just took a little bit of pushing. It took one little shift from one R&D person and one, plant operations person to say, well, hold on a second. What if we took the corn masa and then we had these little implanters and you put a little bump? What happened with the scoops is, unfortunately, when you cook the corn, it gets oil in it, and then you'd have oily scoops running down the line. And some genius put a little bump into the conveyor belt so the oil went out and turned it over, and then we had.
By the way, just got to give this shout out to Brittany Dickey. Her hashtag scoop, there it is. is making me smile. Like the comments are as entertaining as the content. Please.
But yeah, so the best, just the lesson from this is the best ideas are simple, right? And they're solving something that's a real pain point for consumers, or just making something a little bit better. And what a simple idea that is. And then we figured out how to do it. And then it's well over $1 billion. Right?